Hello, you're listening to Otaku Spirit Animecast. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined here with Chris.
Yo.
Today's episode is a spoiler cast episode. We're going to talk about the anime of winter 2025. Just go through a bunch of shows. We will have timestamps in the description so you guys know what shows we're talking about. And be pretty warned, the moment we start talking about it, we might not immediately... We'll warm into it sometimes, but just know that when we go to talk about a certain show, it's full-on spoilers. So the current episode that's out there, we're not even going to give an episode count, because I can't keep track of them all. There's like 60-some shows. We're not going to talk about 60 shows, obviously, but there's a lot of shows to go through, and I can't keep up with the actual episode count. So keep that in mind beforehand. But yeah, as per usual at Otaku Spirit, that's where you can go for all of our links, social media links, ways to get a hold of us, ways to support us, all that good stuff. There's also links in the description for ways to support us and get a hold of us. We greatly appreciate that support channel. It means a lot to us. Like the ability to get a new backdrop for Chris, which
Yay.
he has... He has Lum literally sitting on his head. I didn't realize it until I got the camera turned on. I'm like, Lum's sitting on your head. That must be very enjoyable.
Probably.
Don't talk about that too much. But yes, lots of stuff behind him that are probably going to get us in trouble. I just realized that, yeah, you also got like some thickness over there in the cam. I'm not sure exactly where I'll crop it at, but you have, for sure, Musa Range Murata that's right next to you is going to be in frame. So there's some assets in the screen now, but that's all because you guys support the channel. We're able to do stuff like that and get things improved. Hopefully eventually I will find a camera that can last more than one recording, because that last one I got for Chris was just, it frustrated me, so I got rid of it. But he has a new microphone, so things are improving. But anyways, that's ways to support us. We greatly appreciate it. But let's just get into it. For anybody that just like dropping by and they're like, I don't care about your cam, I don't care about your cake in the background, move on. I had a whole live stream where we took all the displates out. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to unbox some displates because people really enjoy them. So anyways, yes, we should kick it off with ReZero. We got to talk about ReZero. I just to confirm again, you have not read beyond this point.
No.
But there still is some stuff that's not been covered by the anime that you will avoid because you're a good boy. Yeah. There's still some stuff apparently that they're still
that I really
not done yet.
bad want to talk about
bad.
Because you've already gone into...
theorizing in that direction.
About it.
I think we ran that last time. It was like, you were hinting at something. I'm like, I know where you're hinting at, so I'm gonna go ahead and bleep that out, just because somebody else will be mad that I already heard it. I don't want other people to hear it. There's always that like touchy area of getting into stuff, but yes, spoilers for ReZero third season, which I told myself I wasn't gonna get into this whole thing. It's episode 62. Which I think at this point is episode 12 of season 3, depending on what numbers you're using. But yes, a certain Regulus is finally out of the picture. I still don't think he's... Do you think Sirius too? Which of those two, do you think they're gone? Do you think they're dead? I don't think so. I have two theories. My first theory is that they're both knocked out, but they will come back. But my two theories on how they will come back is, one... You notice how they both, when they're defeated, what happens? They're knocked down below surface level. What's down there right now? A certain witch. So there's like the thought process of them either being consumed by the witch or possessed by the witch, or there's a certain somebody still around, active, that can bring people back. Capella. So I'm like, is Capella going to bring them back? But that requires her to get rid of Al. Get past Al somehow, which that whole comment we can talk about as well. But yeah, that's my theories right now. Where are you sitting at with Regulus and Sirius?
Regulus, I think they're pretty much implying that he's gone. Sirius, I don't know.
Sirius seems more sus to me.
Yeah.
Because that was like a slash and fall in the water. Whereas Regulus, yeah, he was drowning and he kept trying to stop his heart to keep from dying. And then eventually it's like, and then it stops.
So, I mean, either way, both of them that was way too easy for them to go.
Yeah, so, how can we have Subaru actually defeat somebody? You can't have that.
Well, after
Amelia.
After Beetlejuice, I mean, you can't.
That's the other thing. It's like Beetlejuice kind of had a very he had a second form basically.
Yeah,
and we didn't really have a second form with those two. And I guess there was a side of me that when the water filled in there, I'm like, and he started doing the over and over again. I'm like, watch, he just pops out of there and he's in a second form. And now is that, I do think that, but Granted, that whole form, I think, was like a manifestation of the unseen hand, not necessarily him, question mark? I don't know. But I had the same thought process. Like, that seemed a little bit too easy.
Yeah.
Especially Regulus.
Well, and then we're still on the same boat that I had brought up last time, was of the we haven't had a reset in quite a while.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, I'm not trying to immediately go, well, obviously we have to have lots of resets to finish it.
It's not ReZero. It's not my ReZero.
It's just more along the lines of, it just makes it feel a little bit too easy. And I don't know how to make it make much more sense than that. It feels like there should be more.
I think Regulus is the first person that has never killed Subaru. Like, so far, all the witches that we've run into have all killed Subaru at some point. Mm-hmm. Sloth, technically, by proxy, has killed him. Sirius has killed him. Capella has... No? Question mark? Yeah, Capella's not killed him.
No.
Regulus has not.
She just poked him with dragon.
Yeah, that was the only time that he ran into her, and she beat the crap out of him, and then poisoned him, and he got away. That's this current loop, so... Yeah, that's weird to have him fight somebody and have never... Which is kind of funny, because that's literally what it sort of implies in the ED, that Regulus is the one that kills him, and that's when he gets picked up by Reinhardt. Yeah, that's a weird oddity there as well. What do you think about the weird translation with Regulus? I was talking to Chris about that just before we started this, because I wanted to make sure that he got the proper translation on that one, but Crunchyroll's been kind of weird with the translations, and they're kind of implied with the translation that Subaru got the authority agreed, which honestly, I made a whole video on it because it frustrated me, because I watched the Muse version. For those that don't know, it's an Asian release of it that has English subtitles. Apparently the translator over there is like much more passionate about it. They listen to feedback and whatnot. And so when I watched the episode, thought nothing of that whole scene. And then I started hearing some whispers here and there, and I went and checked on the Crunchyroll release of it, and sure enough, on there he literally says, "What are you doing with my authority? Agreed, my authority." And it's like, wait, that's extremely misleading, because there's precedents set for it. Because when Subaru defeated Betelgeuse, he got his authority. I'm assuming they're calling that an authority as well, which is the unseen hand. Mm-hmm. It was what Betelgeuse brought into himself in order to fight Regulus and Pandora. And then later on, it seems to imply with his episode, Betelgeuse seems to be embodied with it still, and he at some point passed that on. Now, it implies, based on Subaru using the hands to go in there and take out the heart from Emilia, that she sensed Betelgeuse. Never has it implied that she knew that Betelgeuse was the Archbishop of Sloth. It's only when Subaru touches her with it that she sees him. Thus, it implies that his spirit is within the unseen hand. But it kind of implied that somebody else was there when Subaru acquired it from somebody. Like, it was given to him, granted to him. It was handed over. And I'm wondering if that's the person that Betelgeuse was calling to when he first put in the unseen hand. Like, this is it's something that was passed to him. He used it, even though he didn't think that he could handle it. Obviously, he goes nuts. And then, that you can claim that him going nuts was because he thought that he killed his loved one. And then now it's passed on to him. But anyways, my whole point is there's precedents been set already that when Subaru defeats one of the archbishops, he gains their power. So you assume that, he said that makes sense.
Yeah.
They gained greed. Or maybe Emilia did, because that was right after Emilia literally clonked him into the tower using a hammer. I didn't think about that at the time, but yes, technically you have two shows with Rie Takahashi's voice that have swung a massive hammer. Her and Alina Clover. But yeah, like I said, there's a precedent set for it, so it bugs me even more that they would have that massive of a... And granted, it's like one of those aspects of like, I don't blame them, but change it. Like, there's tons of people yelling out to Crunchyroll, change this, and they haven't changed it. And I don't think they will.
Yeah. Because
as we noticed with that same day that episode released, they released the English dub of the episode when Roy? Was it Roy? Whichever one is facing off against Julius. One of the Archbishops of Greed is facing off against Julius at the gate, and he says, "It's as magnificent as I would expect, Lord Brother." But the Crunchyroll release omits the Lord Brother part, and the dub omits the brother part. So they don't want to they don't want to change things. They don't want to fix things, and that's been complained about ever since that episode released.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, Crunchyroll, you need to step up your game here. And like I told a lot of people, I don't typically care about, goof ups and mistranslations. It's like, oh, that was weird. Okay, move on. Like, my life moves on. But with something like ReZero, it's so, like the brother part. Anybody that does not know what's going on with the story would not even care. If it said brother down there or not, nobody cares. But for people that are trying to keep track of this, that made me jump out of my seat. When he said Lord Brother, I literally was like, oh no, that's where Joshua is. Because I kept wondering where the hell Joshua is. Because way back there, when they were having the meetings when they first came to this town, what did Anastasia say? Please go to the gate. I have a letter coming in with information about the Archbishop of Gluttony. They were talking about how to restore both Krush and Rem, and she's got important information. Go to the gate. So when they go to the gate, Julius does, and some dude, and this dude that has consumed Rem's memories already suddenly says, Lord Brother. I'm going, oh, that's what happened to Joshua. That boy gone. Now the question mark, is he like Rem? Is he like Krush? Is it like, comatose? Is it just lost memories? Or gone, like in his belly? But that also opened the door to the idea of, okay, now this sort of implies that they can tap into the memories.
Yeah.
Because he didn't do the usual, like, we or anything like that. He's literally just saying, like, oh, it's that's how Joshua talks. That dude's obsessed with Julius. He's a Brokon. He thinks his brother's the greatest thing ever. So he would say it's magnificent. It's just like what Lord Brother would do. Anyways, enough ranting about that stuff. But I don't normally care. But it's just like when I have a story like this where I'm super invested, I want some good translation. So that's why I've given up on Crunchyroll for ReZero completely. Like, I'm just doing the Muse releases because they're doing a much better job of it. Plus, it releases earlier. For those that know, it releases a little bit earlier, like an hour and a half, I think. Usually, it's much earlier. So which works for me because I have to take a lot of notes and I'm doing a lot of screenshots and stuff like that. So it helps me get my video done at not a long period of time.
Yeah, I go for the convenience of just going click, 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 click. Yeah, I get to watch it.
And then Andrew tells him later, let me know when you're done. Or you just check out my video afterwards. But it is what it is. But I've thoroughly been enjoying this season so far. What else has been pretty crazy? Do you like the divine blessing of moon hopping now? And I'm guessing he has a divine blessing of space travel so he doesn't die from the vacuum. The freaking Reinhard, dude. He's like,
he has every superpower there is.
I mean, that makes perfect sense, but it's like, could you imagine like the sheer? That's gotta be a divine blessing that he at least had luck, because again, the odds of him throwing him and hitting the moon, and I'm assuming the moon in that world's a little bit closer because that would have taken much longer to arrive at the moon and kick off of it. But it's like he had to have at least like some sort of luck to have hit the moon. But it's still amazing. It's still Reinhardt being super hot OP character that, like I've said before, I will not get enough of how he's so. I think is it because he's humble? Because he's so humble and such a good guy that you kind of accept it? Because typically with a lot of shows where there's like a massively overpowered character, I don't care about him. But Reinhardt works because I think it's because he's humble. Like he doesn't think himself as how did he put it before? Does he? If I remember correctly, he put it in a way that it was like he's not worthy of it. He's not worthy of the power, and I think that's a lot to do with his mother, or not his mother, but his grandmother. The idea that he feels that he feels at fault.
He probably feels that his grandpa should have got it.
I can see that, but it's obviously showing that the grandfather blamed him.
His grandfather or his father. It'd be interesting to see. I mean,
he feels blamed for her death,
right?
Because he took it from her the moment that she needed it.
Right.
And it seemed like they implied, I think Wilhelm basically told him that he was at fault. and he regrets it massively for doing that. So I can see him literally just saying that, yeah, she should have kept it because she needed it more than I did, and I'll never be as good as she is. I don't know. It still hasn't gotten into, like, was he, like, rigorously training up into the point that he received it? Did he start training the moment he received it? I don't think they've gotten in that stuff yet, which I doubt they will unless it's like a side story.
That makes things a little bit more interesting because I thought that she died fighting the well, and I always wondered why they never forgot about her.
Yeah, I wonder about that too, but I assumed it was a case where she was harmed by it but not consumed by it. Like yeah, because I kind of thought the same thing, and you could kind of think that it may have been a divine blessing that was still residual or something like that, something that was still in effect. But I'm assuming that she wasn't consumed because I think they have to be consumed before they're forgotten, except for cases like the Archbishop that messed with Rem, consumed her memories, but yet she's still physically there. I don't know. It hasn't gotten like the greater details of how that stuff works, but that's kind of what I would assume on it. Without, again, getting further in details, but again, probably in the light novel.
Yeah,
I can't wait to read it.
There's all kinds of weird stuff going on about that. I don't quite understand though. It's funny because the rules of the world are not actually changing. They just feel liquid. Like they're still being like we're still learning more about the rules, and it's kind of cool how the writer is pulling that off.
Piecemealing it, dude. I want to get into Priscilla so bad, but I know that's the area that you're kind of struggling with, but talking about, because I think you have a little bit more details in it. Al. Did you catch that comment by Al when Capella came down there? Because Anastasia, like, blasted the hole, or they blasted the hole and then knocked Capella down in the hole, and Al was down there, and he literally says, what did he say? You should get out of here before I die. That was a moment when I was, because again, I watched the Muse release, and I watched that part, and I was like, did he just say what I think he did? And I went back a little bit, and it's like, yeah, he said that. He said, get out of here before I die. And then I was like, okay, it's going to be a rare moment, but I'm going to do this. I opened up the Crunchyroll version. It says the same thing. And then I used I actually did a translation by picking up the audio and transcribing it. And I'm like, he's literally saying that. Damn, we're never going to get behind these allegations that he's somehow tied to Subaru. But no, that makes me ponder, because if he's saying that, what kind of meaning is in those words? It could be an aspect that he could have a power that if he dies, it kills things around him or harms things around him, that it triggers upon death, that he's similar to Subaru, that he has a trigger by death, but it does something. Maybe he revives himself. That's why he knows that it happens. But it's like, yeah, that kind of goes in that whole realm of, I had a crazy theory in the idea that what happens if Capella kills him down there. Could we have a situation where, yeah, Subaru's sitting there with Amelia? It's like, yeah, everything's great. You know, Reinhardt's going off. Everybody else is more capable than me. Reinhardt's going to handle it. I handled my boss. I took out my boss. Everybody else has still got to handle their bosses, so we'll wait. And then suddenly out of nowhere, boom, he's in front of Regulus. Wait, did I just die? It's going to be like one of those, it's kind of like when he's in the mansion, Rosewall's mansion, and he went to go to sleep, or he was trying to keep himself awake, and then suddenly he wakes up the next day, and suddenly Rem and Ram are like, oh no, the guy is woken up, he's a creeper or whatever. It was like one of those moments of like, how did I die? He didn't know that he died from the curse overnight. So I think it'll be a situation like that, where suddenly he resets in front of Regulus or something like that, and it's like, wait, I was safe. Why am I here? Did I die? And it's going to completely mess with him. That's the theory I have, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if they're going to reveal it that quickly.
If we're going on the idea of him being Subaru, he's got two different,
or related somehow, or at least has his, return by death. If
we're going on that idea, then you got two timelines going on at the same time. He can't die because it would reset all the way back to him, wherever his checkpoint
yeah,
is. And that would throw off everything that's succeeded right now. And I think that he knows that, and that's why he can't allow himself to die.
Yeah.
That would be my theory going on that.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I would assume that he would retain his memories as well, and it would be way too jarring for the viewer if Subaru doesn't remember, because then we'd just be repeating a segment and there would be nothing changing in the segment because Subaru's just going to keep doing what he was doing. It would just be like, it would be the greatest excuse to just kind of pad the episode count just by saying, yeah, suddenly we're back to this point in episode, 61, and we're going to play it all again. And everybody's going to be like, what just that would literally be cool though if he just had like Subaru's like walking with Amelia and he's talking about something like, yeah, Amelia EMT or whatever, and then suddenly out of nowhere it just cuts and he's talking to Regulus and they're fighting Regulus again. And the episode plays like that, and it would be like a total shock to everybody, like, wait, did something mess up? It would be like a total flip for everybody. They would have to like have it play for like a couple seconds and would be like question mark. And then now nowhere to have to cut over to Al or something like that. And Al's like just waking up and like, damn it, she got me or something like that. That would be so cool. If it's the case that is what happened, you can use that idea there. White Fox, I'm sure that Tape knows what the hell he's doing if he's even going that route. But that would be wicked cool. I would totally love that. I kind of assume that with Felix, that whole thing was played out though with Capella. I think that she was purposely getting herself emotional because she wanted to show like some sort of like desperation to get information out of Capella. Because it did feel like, I think it sort of implied that her dropping the weapon on the ground was a signal to Anastasia to get up. Like, it's not working. Then Anastasia gets up and finally get to see Anastasia has powers. Mm-hmm. I always thought that Anastasia was going to be the one case where one of these candidates didn't have fighting capability, but just rather she's a candidate because she is using her smarts, that she is someone with connections, someone that is very skilled at the trade, and that it's not a case of power. But I think at that point, that sort of established to me, now we still have Feltz, the question mark there, that established to me that probably she is, that she, like all the rest of them, have power. Because so far Priscilla has shown at least the what's it called, the Sunblade or something like that?
Yeah.
Then of course we've seen tons of Amelia shooting ice magic everywhere. Anastasia seems to have some sort of energy bolt capability, and then I'm assuming, unless Felt is strictly just a fighter, I mean she's like a roguelike person always, but mm-hmm. I'm assuming, she could eventually suddenly out of nowhere shoot energy bolts, but again, that goes to that whole thing where we don't really know the full breadth of what the candidate system is so far. It could be the idea they're all blessed with some sort of, power from the dragon or something. I don't think we've really gotten anything into the whole the system itself. Just that there's a selection process for the next person that is ordained by this whole system. I don't know. I'd be curious to see if Felt has a magical capability. I don't think they've implied. Priscilla is assumed as fire, but that could just be the blade. Emilio, ice. Again, Anastasia, did it look like an element? It just seemed like it was just an energy bolt.
Well, even that, their powers are. It's hard to know what exactly their powers are in a lot of cases. Even Emilia, I don't know that even the ice is necessarily her power. She has the spirits that she works with, and in a lot of cases, it's there's that forward to give you this. Okay, this girl is fire, this girl is ice, that girl is this, and that girl is that. So you just automatically.
I just want all my Pokemon, Chris.
Yeah, you just want all your Pokemon. But
where's Bulbasaur? I need a damn Bulbasaur already.
Yeah.
Krush. Krush could be Bulbasaur. Yeah, I guess I guess Krush technically was never shown. Again, other than it just being a physical fighter, and again, like slashing blade attacks and stuff like that. Was it Wind? She might be Wind. I don't know. She could be the Wind type Pokemon. I don't know. I'm trying to create something out of nothing. I know it. What else? Yeah, I was and you can choose whether or not you want to respond to any of this. I was really intrigued by the fact that Sirius was trying to get some sort of rise out of Priscilla, or at least trying to see her way of things. And it was acknowledging the fact that she wasn't affecting Priscilla because she was talking about love, and she felt that Priscilla was a type that didn't put value in love, that she was trying to hide that feeling. And then her way of nagging at her was to bring up, was it like 2 different stories, or was it 3 stories about what seemed like romantic stories? And that really ticked off Priscilla. So my question mark was coming up of like, okay, are these people in Priscilla's past that she knows? Was it people like, parental figures? Was it people in her bloodline? It seemed like it was very personal to her. So it made me believe, like, what are the chances, since they're tales, they're stories, they seem like they're book titles, what are the chances of Priscilla being really old? Like, really, like, at least, 30, 40 years older than what she seems like she is, which means she looks like she's like 20 or something like that. She could be like, 60 or 80, and she's had all those relationships with people over the time, and thus, but the question mark is, how does Sirius know that, unless she got that information before they went to the fight? Because obviously she knows that she's going to go up against they know that these candidates are going to be there. They probably knew they were going to be there. And she might have known that Priscilla was there and looked into her or something like that. It's kind of curious to me that she knew them. Or were they stories that she knew? Because, again, my theory that she is Amelia's mom or guardian, Fortuna. I don't know. That was my going theory with that whole conversation, because it seemed like it stuck out a lot that Priscilla was super mad to hear those names. So it made me believe that she knows them.
I think it's more fascinating to consider it from Wrath's kind of how her power kind of works in that case.
I love that stuff.
The fact that she has to get them to actually reflect her feelings before she can control their feelings, and it's such a cool thing like that.
Well, I got a kick out of it because it was like one of those aspects of her almost downplaying Priscilla's view on love, or at least that assumption being there that she doesn't value love. And it's like, there's almost an element of Priscilla there acknowledging a deeper aspect of love. Because what Wrath puts it as is that everybody should just think the same. That way there's no conflict when we all have love. And then Priscilla's perspective is, no, love is not about agreeing. It's about understanding the other person and sort of, what was the term that they used? It was like the idea of adapting to some other person's differences. Adapting to differences, that is what real love is. Your significant other has this viewpoint or feels this way, and you kind of fit in with each other. That's how it works. So it was this whole season, man. Priscilla's up there like, my poor girl Ram is turned into a permanent body pillow over there, but while she's gone, I got Priscilla. And Beatrice is over here she's going to turn into a permanent body pillow, it seems like, because she's been sleeping this whole time. I mean, granted, there's that element of like, this series just loves taking its time in chronological sense. Like, if you think about it, like, this entire season has been like, probably 24 hours. Like, probably not even 24 hours. It's like, it is so taking its time. So it's like, it feels like Beatrice has been gone for 2 years, but technically it's just because it was like, 4 or 5 months ago that she got taken out of the picture, but it's still only been a day. She's just been laying there trying to recover. It's like, I want Beatrice back, damn it. I want Beatrice back. And Mimi's out too. I fall in love with Mimi. Mimi gets knocked out. I fall in love with Beatrice. She gets knocked out. I fall in love with Rim. She gets knocked out.
Oh.
Priscilla's next.
Wait. You jerk.
Priscilla's next. It's all Andrew's fault. Priscilla's next. And I'm really starting to like Amelia now. Amelia this last episode, man. I've been waiting for that. I've really been waiting for that. I think season 2, obviously Amelia had a massive amount of growth, and I've been really enjoying her. But like, this last episode, I was like, girl stepped up. Girl absolutely stepped up, which is great, because I remember back when we had the episode where Amelia it was pretty much the end of the last season, the mid-season, episode 8, where like Amelia's like, okay, Subaru just did this big speech, I gotta step up too. And then it cuts to the church, and she's literally just standing there, and suddenly Subaru comes charging in to save her. And I'm like, I thought she was going to do something. She didn't do anything. No, she did. Girls, I mean, she did technically in the previous episode too with the figure skating Amelia moment there. But yeah, her doing the whole... I don't know if you had the same thought I did. When she froze the wives, I thought that was going to be permanent. Because I would like, oh, so she did the same things that she did to the people of her village. So are they just going to be stuck there until she figures out how to undo it and comes back? And then she frees them. I'm like, okay, I thought because she seemed mad.
She was
like, here's your divorce papers. And then she's like yelling about how, the count of them was a 54 or whatever.
80, I thought it was 83.
It could have been.
It could have been.
She was 79, but I thought that was only like 53 there or something like that.
No, I had this inkling there for a second that she may have actually killed them all, and I was like, no, that's not her character. I can't see her doing that.
I for sure knew that she didn't kill them, but I would assume that she froze them to, like cryo sleep kind of thing, like what she did with her home village. But my whole thing was like, I thought it was because she was apologizing. Now it could have been that she just didn't know it was going to work, and it was gonna probably hurt or not be comfortable when it happened. But I thought based on how mad she was, like she used the spell that she used back at her home village and put them in like cryostasis basically. But then she wasn't going to be able to undo it. That's why she was apologizing. But I'm assuming that she just didn't use as powerful as back when she was a kid and froze everybody back there. That's why she was able to undo it. I don't know. It was like, there was a side of me that I'm like, did I forget that she went back and freed her village already, or her hometown, or again, was it just not as permanent this time? Turned out to be that, but that was a good scene. My gosh. Sylphie 184. She did a great job with the vocals on that whole scene, dude. Just literally, he will kill us if we have a single scratch. So we were always planning on doing this. We'll do it now. Just end it kind of thing. I was like, oh, girl, my heart breaking right there. She was it Koga? She absolutely nailed that whole voicing role. Did a great job with that whole scene. But yeah, that was hard. That was really rough to get through. Yeah, I did not see her getting the heart though. That was I guess where they put it, like you said that I wasn't worthy or something like that, but apparently I was.
Yeah.
I don't think it's love related at all. I think he's literally just a parasite. Like what? I mean, he was even egging it on. Let's try it out. Kill her. Like he probably knew it would go to anybody nearby. He just surrounds himself with people that he can, I guess, hopefully trust it with. Just an excuse to get a bunch of wives around him.
Well, if he's anything like Petal Goose was, I mean, it would be just a matter of whoever has got a slight mind tick type thing and just goes with it.
Yeah, he technically did inhabit Subaru at that one point. But yeah, the hand though, did that get you? Like the moment she's like, "Oh, that's where you've been," I'm like, "Ow." Ow, ow, ow. It was one of those moments where I'm like, I don't know if I've ever kind of considered the idea of possibly Petal Goose always being at Subaru's side, but like I said earlier, that with the fact that she didn't know who Petal Goose was, that he was the Archbishop, because I don't think she ever seen Sloth. I mean, she did in some of the resets, but the current reset, I don't think she ever seen Petal Goose at any point. Yeah, because Subaru fought him in the end with Reinhard. I think Mimi was there, ? And that was it, right? I think it was just them two. No, Julius too, right? Because Julius, it was Julius. It wasn't Reinhard. Yeah, it was Julius because he used that spirit sight. Yes, to see the unseen hand, he used a spirit sight, and I think the one where everybody else, like Felix and them, were involved, he died because he eventually got taken over and they had to kill him. But the one they finally beat him, I think it was Mimi, or was it Hetaro? One of the two cat girls, cat boy, cat girl, Julius and Subaru. I thought that was somebody else, though. I'm probably missing somebody. Somebody can yell at me in the comments. Somebody can yell at me in the comments. What else? Anything else that's been happening over the last few episodes? It's been a long fight. But yeah, I do agree with the idea of like the reset concept. I do agree with you. That's kind of almost a sign of the struggle. But I kind of wonder at this point if the writers just kind of focused on, let's get this big battle done. I don't want to sit here and keep dawdling and having resets right now just because it is sort of a big epic fight. Focus on getting the fight done, get the story out there, then we'll mess with the resets. Or the fight ends and then somebody finishes him off right at the last second and he has to start all over. That would probably make a lot of people mad if he did that.
Well, I could see him doing one reset for this entire fight. And just going and after he's learned all of this, he could go and reset and then kind of perfect the entire thing. Because I don't see this going with no casualties at all. And I think that that's going to be kind of the thing that pushes him to
we technically may have a casualty already, and that's Joshua. Which, I mean, it's not like it's probably not going to bug people too much. I mean, that would suck because we talked to him for a little bit, but still, I'm kind of considering that Joshua might be dead. Other than him, I don't know how Wilhelm got through the fight with the White Whale. I legit thought Wilhelm was going to die with the White Whale. And so I can see him being a casualty in the idea that I can see him pushing himself to take out his wife because right now he doesn't want her to live on and harm other people. So he's going to finish her off, put her to sleep basically. And I think during that process, he's probably going to have a mortal wound. Or maybe he might get a wound that, again, won't heal. And we haven't really established that killing the wielder of the skill will cause it to go away. So he can get a mortal wound, it not be able to heal, and then he just dies, bleeds out. But I'm assuming that he's killing his wife is going to relieve the wound. Because I think they sort of implied that with Mimi. Because she got struck by it, and I think they were implying then that it's caused by that, and I think Wilhelm knew. Well, he obviously knew at that point that it was his wife, but I don't know if they ever 100% said that it goes away with the death. But I can see him dying. Of anybody that's in the cast right now, that's the one. Because they're not going to have Beatrice die because she has to live in order for Subaru to live. They've already, again, established in the shorts that she has to live for Subaru to not die, because she's managing his overflow basically. Which I kind of wonder if that's still going to come up here soon, because again, that seemingly was odd that was brought up in the shorts this season when it wasn't mentioned before. That it makes me believe that at some point Subaru is going to deal with an overflow, and maybe Beatrice will show up at the last second to relieve that, and that'll be her return. How did I'm forgetting how Beatrice got harmed when she was protecting him. That's right. Who was that? She was restoring him because Regulus had blasted off his leg, and I think she was trying to both protect him, and I think she was expending a lot of mana to protect the people that were around them too, if I remember correctly, right? Because Regulus knocked his leg out, he fell over, and Beatrice was like, "Oh no, not this," and then I think they implied later on that she used a lot of energy to save him and the people around them, or something like that. Or was that one of the resets?
I thought that was in a reset. Well, all the people around him dying. No, yeah, that was all a reset. No, it wasn't.
No, because she restored his leg, and then that's right, because Felix was poking at it, and it was like, "Ow, damn it!" Yeah, and then later on, Capilla dropped the blood on that same leg. I think that was that. Anyways, I was trying to remember how she got, so it was basically exhaustion. Like, she's out of it because she's exhausted. She's not like she's hurt. She's just exhausted. I don't know if they implied that she was taking pain from him and damage from him or not. Where was Rosewall at? Rosewall's just back at the estate, right?
Yeah, he didn't come.
He probably didn't come for a reason. I'm sorry. I'm with. It's so funny because I agree with Otto, which I thought that was kind of very clever that Otto is seeing things the way that he does, and the idea that it's Because I thought the same thing when Rosewall made that whole pact. It was like an aspect of like, that's true. He can't betray them anymore. But then Oto made a very good point. He could have put a lot of things into play. Now he's going to be obeying, but he could just be waiting for the moment that his trap finally springs. He's technically betraying them, but not directly, because everything's set in motion already. So I'm like, I kind of, as much as I think Oto is massive sus, I do not trust the guy, even to this point. I kind of like that. I kind of like his perspective there. But I do love the little short they had between Oto and Ram. Sorry. The idea of like, Ram's like, you're not a trusting person, so you'll be the one that doesn't trust, and I'll be the one that trusts, or something like that. No, what she said? She said, I'll be the one that trusts people, and you'll be the one that doesn't trust people because you're mean or something like that. You'll be mean and not trusting. And then he's like, I don't need the mean part. The shorts have been like super juicy anymore. I don't know if you've seen the one last week.
I haven't watched any of them yet.
You haven't?
Mm-mm.
That's where the juicy bits are, Chris. I hate that that's where all the juicy bits. They revealed a character called Diaz, which is the chef of the Rosewall estate right now. Because like Petra was looking around for somebody that Ram told her to go find. It was the chef that they apparently brought in. And she looks like a half-elf.
Oh, yeah.
And it has the same little cloak hood that Amelia used to have. So I'm like, is she from Amelia's hometown? Is she a half-elf, question mark? Is she somehow related to Amelia? No, she can't be related because her name was something crazy, like Diaz something Falm or something like that, the fourth. Like she reminds me a lot of Kishirika. So I'm like, with these two authors, I wouldn't doubt that one of them was like, yeah, I like that idea. Let's go ahead and do that one way or the other. I would assume probably Diaz took some inspiration from Kishirika or something like that. That would be cool. I would totally get a kick out of that. Do you like Liliana's backstory?
I don't remember which one was that.
Liliana, the songstress, where they went into her and her parents. I was happy to at least see that it's not like another case of like, yeah, they were traveling and the parents died and then she went off on her own. Like, she literally ditched her family.
Yeah. I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna be the greatest songstress ever. I like the message in it, but I thought it was super simple.
I thought it was cute when she finally figured out her way. It was. I thought that was cute. I mean, I wasn't like blown away by it. It wasn't like some kind of random. Oh,
yeah, like massive revelation.
Yeah, big revelation. Everything fits into place. No, it is like, okay, underwhelming. But I did like the punchline of, hey, I finally found my way.
I was kind of at least hoping that it would be an aspect of revealing my big theory that I had of her being able to see into people's emotions. But no, she's just songstress. No, the part about that I did get that I really, really liked was the idea of like her. It sort of implied her realizing what it is to be, to do what they do. And it was really kind of early on, it was her being frustrated with her family because she wanted to sing this song or this song. They're like, you don't get to choose that stuff. You're not in charge or whatever. And I almost wondered if it was an aspect of them implying to her that she doesn't know how to select the songs and that they do exactly what she learns how to do, which is that it's all about not telling the tales of heroes. Because she says something like effective, what am I even, all I'm doing is telling the tales of incredible people. I'm just copying their stories and not really doing anything myself. And then she finds at the end of her road, I was going to say road, but I was kind of avoiding it. She finds at the end of like her wits and her strength and everything, like she's going to starve to death and everything. She finds this inspiration. She finds this pawn. It's beautiful and everything. She finds inspiration, and then she goes to the people in the town, and she sees that inspiration. And I think I think it came down to this idea of, I think maybe her parents were going to instill that upon her, is that you're not you're not just picking a song and singing it. You're finding what will inspire people. This inspired me. Now I got to go tell the people and townsfolk, and now suddenly they all like it because they're inspired by it. She found how to tap into what people want, tap into what will sing to people. And that could play into what I was talking about before with or having some weird special ability to see what people thought or their thoughts are or whatever and know how to inspire people. But it could just be a feeling. She could have always just have just a natural feeling to be able to kind of tap into people and say, you need to hear this right now, don't you? Let me tell you about this tale or something like that. I thought it was wasn't too big on it being like most of the episode because it seemed a little bit simple, but it was, I agree with you that it was a cute little story. I think it worked out most in that episode because Priscilla was being a badass the entire time. that was great. She has like the whole like 50 million jewelries that all like protect her from death. And I was like, it kind of stood out to me that like the moment that those things broke, she got real mad. I think that was one of those aspects of like, I bet those were gifts from her loved ones. Like every single one of those jewelries, some gift from somebody that, cherished her, some gift to her. Especially the hair.
The thing
when that hair broke, which one, hot damn. But two, she got super pissed the moment that hair thing broke. I'm like, that was probably special. I think all of them are special.
Well, I mean, I think that she said that, or no, it was Wrath that pointed it out. Oh, you can deflect your damage onto something that you value. Or like
yeah. It was like you're the type to sacrifice things of value, or it was something like that effect. Yeah, it technically implied the idea of like you just use things and lose them or whatever. Just discard things as you use them up or whatever. And it was like, no, she's mad. That shows me that she loved every little thing that she had on her. And it wasn't just there to save her life. It was something special to her. So I'm like, that just kind of just untaps a little bit of a crazy theory of like, are they sacrifice lives that she's wearing? Like, no, I don't know. That's going to go down some really dark path, but who knows? Who knows? She seems like such a wild card to me. Like I got Felt figured out. I kind of got Krush figured out already. I mean, we can always get into some crazier stuff with Krush once she gets her memories back, if she gets them back. Anastasia, I think I got a pretty good handle of. Priscilla is just a wild card, and I love it for that. Did I tell him about how I love Priscilla's character? She's, again, as long as Rem stays stuck in that bed, I think I'm gonna probably turn to a massive Priscilla simp going forward. I just heard that, man. That little scene with her changing. Damn, they nailed that scene too. Like they absolutely nailed that scene. Ever since I seen that artwork, I'm like, I wonder if they'll ever do it. I wonder if they'd actually have that scene. Sure enough, they had that scene. I'm like, Liliana is literally everybody watching this right now.
They probably have a figure of it. You know they do. If they don't have at least a garage kit, I don't.
Oh yeah, for sure, wrong. Garage kit. Dude, it would sell so many if they made one. Yeah, I mean, I would even give bonus points if they could have two different versions, and I bet you, people would buy both of them just for collector's sake. So you're double dipping here. You make two versions. One's just one is just Priscilla, and then you'll have like a limited edition version that has Liliana off to the side going, or like the arigato. Having both of them, just like her like leaning over there, and then Priscilla just off the side, just going like eye candy mode. That would this is a Priscilla alone. Let's just focus here. That would sell. Again, the light novel art, just the she's slightly bent over and she's going to put something on, would sell so freaking many. And I think, again, people would buy multiple versions if it was available. Thanks, Chris. I don't know. I haven't really been looking for them. I know, obviously, I have a ton of Rams up here. I don't know. I don't think I've seen any Priscillas yet. It has to be this season at least. There's got to be something out there. I don't know. Anything else? When's Puck coming back? Damn it! When's Puck coming back? Like I've completely forgot about Puck at this point. Let's see, Priscilla. That's not the same Priscilla. Apparently, there's a Priscilla with what is this from? Priscilla Antenna Shop limited edition. I'm curious what this Priscilla is. This has got to be like a card game, Yu-Gi-Oh or something. It's probably not. It doesn't even say what the freaking show is. It must be an original art. There's a ton of them, so it's got to be something popular. There's a Priscilla keychain. There's a acrylic stand. There's so many freaking acrylic stands for everything. Let me check Shoujo figure 12. There is no ReZero Priscilla figures, at least on Ami, so. Anything else, Chris? Did we just milk the hell out of that whole segment?
Hey, content farming.
I think Garf. I'll be curious what they end up doing with Garf. I think he's just enraged. I don't think he's affected by the blood, but that would be interesting. He got doused by a bunch of weird, like, a Priscilla sack. The Priscilla sacks fell on his head, so he could totally get taken over. I think that's everything. So, like, right now we have Otto and Felt are fighting one of the archbishops. Julius and Dog Dude are fighting one of the archbishops. Capella's fighting Al, which I'm assuming Anastasia might join in there, but I'm assuming that she's utilizing Al to the fullest ability there. And then that is it, right? Just Capella and the two archbishops of Gluttony, right?
Yeah.
And then again, if we ever get to see the other Sidon archbishops, if there is any other ones that I'm still kind of question mark on, like Pride, we haven't yet to see a Pride, which could be Vanity or not. But anyhow, what else? What other shows? What are we done with the podcast episode? 52 minutes in. There you go, guys. That's pretty much the entire spoiler cast. Do you like an Apothecary Diaries recently? It getting juicy. Tell me you keeping it caught up.
Oh yeah, I she went after the bug girl today.
The bug girl, and with zero self awareness, said, "Why am I lumped in with this girl?" I don't know.
Gee, I wonder.
The way that you were jumping around for that lizard just the other episode looked very similar. No, the whole stuff around Jinshi and the Empress and all that stuff.
It feels like they're pulling that together. It feels like they're trying to pull that together.
I completely forgot about the whole previous emperor and his taste. I which I shouldn't have, because again that's Lishu. That's literally what Lishu was there for originally. But I'm like, I don't know. I completely forgot where I was at with the theories around Jinshi. And I know that I was pretty dead set on the idea of him being related to Ado. So that still sets the current emperor and Jinshi to be brothers. It's just not. The Empress Dowager is not the mother. It would have been Ado. I still think he's connected to Ado, because Ado and him were just. When she left, Jinshi was really broken up. And I could see that being a case of, yeah, really, that being my mom and she just left. I mean, he could get that emotional with her just being a friend, but I don't see him getting that choked up unless it's his mother. I'm still stuck on that theory.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was it. It all felt kind of natural, and it's a matter of just you might as well just let all the cards out at this point. I mean, I guess they could still keep making it interesting. I was really kind of interested to see if he was catching on to the Tower of Choosing, or whatever the hell it was called, the Shrine of Choosing. I really wish they could kind of have implied whether or not he was seeing it a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that was kind of a really cool insight into. I
picked up on the colorblind real quick.
Yeah, the moment that they had the color doors, I'm like, that's probably gonna be a colorblind thing, isn't it? It's gonna be a colorblind thing, isn't it? But no, I kind of thought that it'd been interesting if he did pick up on that, but I found it more intriguing, the idea that they were okay with Mama going in there with him. Because again, when the Emperor went in there, he had to choose his path. And then when they got out, she was trying to figure it out. And she's like, can I go back in? And he's like, it's not going to be, the groundkeeper was like, yeah, it's not going to look good if you go in there again with the emperor. And additionally, you can't choose his path. And they got into the idea that, yes, these concubines can go in with them and they can guide him. So it helps them. The whole thing is just to keep it in the bloodline. And so, yeah, the fact that the moment that he's like, well, Jinshi can go in there with her, right? Yeah, sure. Okay. And then again, at the very end, when he's like, you got to be careful about bringing in outsiders. You understand that, Majesty? They look over Jinshi. Understood. Okay. Confirmed. I mean, it was in the beginning of that episode, too, was literally him saying that he was his brother and, you know, he wants Mama to figure it out and stuff like that. It's so funny because it's like Jinshi so badly wants her to say it. Figure it out. Tell me you know who I am because I'm tired of hiding it from you. I'm like, this boy just wants her to know. Yeah. Like, I don't think he cares. He doesn't want to let everybody know about it. He's got to keep it a secret, but he's like, I just want Mama to know. I want her to know. I want to not have to hide it from her anymore. Oh, that poor boy. It's never going to happen because she doesn't want to think about it.
He wants her to stop making fun of his sausage.
That's literally all it is. Please figure it out so you can stop thinking I'm a eunuch because I gotta hide it. That's literally all it is. Maybe if she knew that I actually had a thing down there, we can actually be a thing. Maybe she's avoiding me and not wanting to get a relationship with me because she thinks that I don't have a sausage. It's so wrong. But no, I'm like, I feel so bad for him because like, literally, she doesn't want to think about it because
you do realize, just to give you a heads up, you're probably getting a lot of comments about the fact that eunuchs are not necessarily get that removed. It's the testicles. Okay? Just actuallys. All the actuallys.
Actually, it's just a castration. But no, it's like, it's sad because it's like, and he should know this. In her position, her placement in society, you don't question that stuff. Like she even did again in this recent episode when she was like, oh, Jinshi kind of looks a lot like, yeah, stop thinking about it. That stuff, that's thinking process that gets you killed, Mao Mao.
Get your head chopped off.
It's like she literally can't think about what you're wanting her to think about. She just like, no, stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about it. Yeah, I was happy to finally get the reveals that the Empress Dowager was actually like a really cool person. I kind of assumed it was going to be the case. It's like there's a lot of cases where characters kind of look like they're a little bit intimidating, and then you find out they're actually really good people. Like, oh yeah, apparently they say that she literally got rid of the practice of the eunuchs and got rid of the slavery in the area and abolished it. And this Empress Dowager's been cooking. She's been cooking, getting everything set up. Oh, she set up the clinic over there. Okay, this is a really nice lady. Okay, so apparently it's just... Now watch. Apparently it's just the previous Empress or Empress Regent? That word fails me. The previous Empress, she was the bad person. She was the bad... And we'll find out that she's actually a really nice person too. There's very few like just... dastardly evil characters in this show, which I do kind of appreciate. I mean, the envoys, I'm assuming at some point we'll find that they're actually cool too. It's just that they're probably trying to save their nation or something like that. So they're seemingly throwing themselves on the emperor, trying to get in there. It's probably all going to sit on that one that seemed like she seems like she's putting something to effect. She wants to do something. And again, I do kind of follow the mindset that they're probably trying to... I don't know that the envoys are going to be directly connected to this whole abortion pill thing they're doing. I don't think that they're going to be directly connected to that, but I do think they're trying to get in there. And I think it was Goshun. Remember when he had that story that he was telling Mama about the two sisters, the twins, and how they used the mirrors or she came to conclusion that it was mirrors and then they snuck out that way. I think that was the envoys. I think my theory is that because she said something effective, he's probably trying to ask about something else. He's just telling it in a weird way that I don't catch on to what he's talking about. I think the only thing that was true in that story were two people that look like each other, i.e. twins. They're cousins in this case, the envoys. These two people that look exactly like each other, how can one get out when two people are watching the two windows and they're not moving? Well, the envoys were in a room and they got out somehow. And they're trying to figure out if that was possible. And what did the envoys come there with? Big mirrors. These are very expensive. They're very rare. Why is suddenly when he's telling the story, they're just now talking about how there's these big mirrors that are very expensive and rare. Don't break them. Yeah, it's the envoys. Ghoshun was trying to figure out if and how those envoys could have gotten out of a room, possibly when they were visiting. That's my theory on that one. How that's going to be connected with anything, I don't know. Like, it's not like if they got out of there, they, went and slept with the emperor or anything like that. Because I think that whole story about the whole pregnancy and the immortal is probably just a fluff to make it more interesting for Mao to figure it out. I don't know. Shishui's way too cute, though. Do you think Shishui's going to be, like, some bad guy? Shishui's too cute. She's got to be a bad guy. Somebody was, I think it was Earthly was kind of mentioning that she might be tied in with Lulin. Because they have similar hair colors. And Lulin has brought in a lot of ladies. Lulin has a lot of lady-in-waitings.
Oh, yeah.
I can see probably one of them being Shishui. Because I think maybe you brought this up last time. Because I think Shishui showed up about the same time that Lulin did. So I can totally see her being like a spy or something.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that idea.
So you think she's just as sus as I do. I don't think she's going to be a bad girl, though. But I wonder if she could be like a sister or something.
No, I just think that was her way of...
prodding Mao Mao. That's how I think.
Yeah, prodding Mao Mao. She knows that... my idea is that she knows that Mao Mao is effectively a mover and a shaker. And so she's trying to prod it and find out what it is that she needs to know about her. And so she's trying different things. I don't know if she's trying to make herself more appealing to Mao Mao by she thinks that Mao Mao is interested in bugs. And so she's trying to get into bugs. So I don't know.
She was spying on Mao Mao at some point and seeing Mao Mao geeking out about some sort of creature or plant or something. Is like, oh, she must like bugs. I gotta act like I like bugs.
Now, I don't know. I mean, she seemed awful excited about that stupid cricket that came in off of the...
And she acted just like Mao Mao did.
Yeah, I agree.
She's mimicking Mao Mao. Maybe if I act like this, she'll like me more. Look at me geeking out about bugs. Don't you like me more? It's gonna cut to like the beginning of one of the episodes. The episode will just cold open up with just Shishui just in a dark room going, I thought that you would like that. I thought if I acted just like you would like me. But no, you keep ignoring me. Every single time you look at me with a disgusted face. I thought being like you would make you happy. Does it displease you? It just has on the wall like a bunch of like drawn pictures of Bao Bao's face.
Okay, I didn't take it that far, but okay, we'll go with it.
Like super massively. I mean, that could be Xiaolan. Xiaolan's totally probably got a wall covered with Mao Mao items that like here's a 4-leaf clover I got from Mao Mao one day. Here's this writing tool she let me borrow from. It would totally be
little
Xiaolan.
Stories of Mao Mao and her.
Because Mao Mao, I know Xiaolan loves Mao Mao, so I could totally see it being her. That's gonna, again, I said it before and I'll say it again, that's gonna be the big twist, the end of this entire series is Xiaolan was behind it all. She's just too cute. Everybody loves her.
She's poisoning people. She's been learning all these techniques.
It like literally will get to like this climactic moment where they're just having this big garden party.
You're turning my
and then the emperor, everybody's celebrating. The emperor just goes thunk, and then everybody's like, oh, "What?" And then suddenly, out from behind his throne, Xiaolan comes out and goes, her little cute Tama voice.
You're turning my Tama into an evil character.
Oh, it'll be great. It'll be like the biggest twist ever. And then she then gets crowned as the empress of the entire place.
I don't even think my Sugar Happy Life made her that bad. And that was as close to dark for Tama as you can get.
Yeah, she wasn't that dark. Lifa's episode. That girl cannot be happy. I am convinced Liha cannot be happy. There's always something. First, it was them basically the whole the powder thing and her losing her baby, and then she's starting to get back on her feet now. And then Shin, her cousin ? It was a cousin, right?
Cousin or sister?
Trying to get rid of her baby, and I'm like, that whole scene when she slapped her.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that was a better slap than Mau Mau slap.
Did I slap her hard enough? Do I need to slap her again?
No, should I punch her? I can punch her. No, leave us, stop. But damn, dude, I just want to hug that girl. Why did she slap her? Why did she punch her? Why did she go to punch her? To spare her life.
Yeah.
She insulted me. Mm-hmm. Get her out of here. Not, let's find out if she was trying to poison me and get rid of my baby. It was literally, she insulted me with how she spoke to me. Fire her. That was it. Girl, you just got spared. Like Leafa just spared your life after you spat in her face and said that I deserve to be next to him. I was trying to get rid of you. I was trying to get rid of your baby. And again, keep in mind, this is after Leafa just lost her first baby. That's got to hurt even more. She's already experienced losing a child that she had in her hands.
And now
that was the son of the emperor. And I was about to lose the second one.
And now she has to lose her sister or whatever because of it. So
it's just
that was I caught that right away. I was like, you don't get mad about this. She's saving your life.
Yeah,
Stop.
which for her is a massive insult. Don't look down upon me. It's like, girl, just take the L and walk away. Just take the L and walk away. My heart breaks for Leha, dude. I said it my impressions for that episode. I'm like, can I just have an episode, a story? It doesn't have to be a whole episode. Give me my next story that's around Leha. Can I just have her have a happy story? Like, we have fun moments with Gyokyo. Oh, we just had all these cool robes that were brought in. Oh, aren't they pretty? We got a new mirror. We got Lishu over here. I guess technically the one time we had Lishu, she was not doing too well either. But every time we come back to Leha, she's got somebody betraying her and trying to kill her or her baby. Can we not? I think like story-wise and emotion and character-driven plot lines, I think Leha is still by far my favorite character. Like, I love Gokyo, I love all the other characters and everything, but it's like Lefa's story especially. The girl just breaks my heart. I just want her to be happy. Ugh. So good. Sounds so good. And again, everything around Jinshi that's kind of building up has got me super intrigued. I'm assuming right now what they're getting into with the previous emperor, it's probably embalming fluids. I'm not sure if like ingredients for embalming was in paints back then, because they showed a brush and that little, like something yellow, a little yellow gem, that same gem he was trying to hand Jinshi in that flashback before his mother came over. I'm assuming it's some sort of embalming fluid that's being crushed down for paint. The problem is that they claim that the emperor and the previous empress, they were locked up in the same room. So why didn't she have that same effect if it's exposure? I'm thinking she was feeding it to him. And that might have been what was making him go crazy. Is she was feeding him whatever that stuff is, which again is probably a substance in embalming, and was poisoning him to make him crazy, and then eventually he died to it. Well, she died first, and I think he kind of fell downhill after that. Probably just starved himself because he wasn't being fed by her anymore. That was screwed up. Which... rip both. Well, see, here's the thing, and I can totally see this writer doing this, and it'll be super cool if they did it. His proclivity for youngs was that before or after he lost his mind, and was him losing his mind due to her poisoning him. That's the question mark I have, because it's like, yeah, it's a Rip Bozo situation, because this dude literally just one of them young, like the current Empress Dowager, she had the Emperor before she could even properly bear him. They had to cut him out. That's how young she was when he impregnated her. So it's like a Rip Bozo situation there, but at the same time, it's like, was it just because he was being puppeted by? Is it not so much him being a nasty person, but him being out of his mind because she was poisoning the hell out of him? Ugh, it just this sucks, dude. Like, all that stuff just sucks, and it's hard to talk about. But where's I going with that? It would be super interesting if it actually went the storytelling went the route that he was essentially poisoned in the direction of making those choices, and it's just some really skewed mindset that he had. I don't know if they can really dig into that stuff at this point, just because unless they have somebody that was there firsthand, because it doesn't seem like the Empress Dowager really knows much about what happened behind those doors and what the mother was doing to manipulate him. It seems like she was aware of something there, because it shows that brief scene of Jinshi in that hallway, and the father walks up to him, and she kind of blocks him, which, now that I think about it, he was probably trying to get with Jinshi because he looked like a young, cute girl. That's just so wrong. But it seemed like he was trying to hand him that stuff. And I wonder if that was an aspect of trying to tell him what was going on with him. Like, here, take this. This is what they're doing to me, or something. Am I talking nonsense? Am I cooking, or am I talking nonsense here? Do you think they'll get that?
You think that he's going to, he was trying to reveal it? I don't know. If he's that far gone, then he might have just seen it on the table. Now, it might be an unintentional reveal, but he probably seen something pretty and wanted to give it to the girl. That I could see.
But you think they can go the route of possibly it being just him being manipulated by her, and it's not really that he was a nasty person, it's just that he got screwed up?
I think that could be an interesting route for the story. I mean, it makes him not as evil. I like that this writer likes to not necessarily redeem characters, but give more content. Yeah, unmask them as not as bad as you originally intend. So the character sounds evil, and then it comes out. I mean, I would be even more interested to see. Okay, well, the lady is manipulating him into this evil character, and then we find out, well, she was doing this because this is what someone else taught her to do that. And it'll be interesting to see, okay, the characters and as the stories go back, it'll be kind of an interesting aspect.
It's very much a don't judge a book by its cover type of writer. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, what was the first story that we had? Liha. She seemed nasty. She was a nasty person, and she technically kind of was, but she kind of got her face rubbed in the ground, and very quickly kind of seen how very upset she was about the whole situation of losing the child. So yeah, there's cases where they are kind of nasty, but it's just, again, that's technically one of those cases where there's so much more to her character than just what she does to another concubine when they're all technically competing with each other. Good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm curious to see just how much they'll actually build into the previous emperor, because again, they've kind of painted him as being a super, super nasty person. And again, after watching this last episode, yeah, it was one of those situations like, has all these choices, and he keeps picking these girls that literally cannot bear his children. And again, that was technically talked about way back with Li Shu. She was brought in as a concubine for the previous emperor, and it was sent off. And I think they kind of imply the idea that because that the current emperor brought her back because he wanted to kind of make right what his father did. And the idea that, yes, technically, if Li Shu's brought in there as a concubine for the emperor and then was like sent back off when he passed away, it's a good possibility nobody's going to touch her. Well, she was the emperor's concubine. She's probably used goods or something like that. So it kind of implied the idea the emperor kind of brings him back in after he took control to kind of just give her a place to stay and take care of her.
Yeah.
But it's like, I like that, but I don't,
not
because
necessarily
he's not
used goods.
visiting her.
Not necessarily used goods, but rejected goods.
Yeah, too. Yeah, I can see that as well. But it's still like one of those aspects of like they keep implying the idea that he's not visiting her. It's like you don't have to go in there and touch her. I mean, they said it with Mama. She's obviously not endowed enough. The ones that he favors, Gokyo and Liha, they are the most endowed. He likes them big. He likes the big mamas. Yeah, he doesn't care about Lishu. He's not attracted to Lishu, but it's like still you brought her in there, at least pay attention to her, at least humor her, entertain her, something like that. I feel super bad with how Lishu's sort of, but I mean, she can visit the other concubines. It's not like she's alone or anything, but my heart breaks for the poor girl. My heart breaks for the little girl. I'm surprised we haven't gotten a Lulin yet. I felt like with the beginning of the season, it was like, okay, Lulin's next. Yeah. Nope, still haven't touched her. Mm-hmm. I mean, they keep bringing up, what she's doing or whatever, but never anything about her. But yeah, that was it's been good so far. I've been really enjoying this season. So we still got another core. It's a 2 core.
Yeah, right.
We still got a whole more episodes over there. And if they keep cooking like this, I'm all for it. There was something else that happened this season that I'm forgetting. What else happened this season? But no, I did get a kick out of the goddess story. The queen, what they got into after the whole shrine of choosing.
Yeah.
This idea that, again, the whole aspect of the color blindness is to keep their people embedded inside of the royal family. I was like, that's actually really clever.
Yeah.
Because again, it comes down to that idea that, yeah, it's part of the bloodline, and they're trying to keep that, at least that bloodline in there, but they want to keep the traditions of the land that the emperor are the one with the power. But the problem there is that, yes, every now and then the male won't have enough of the bloodline in them. So the only way in order to be chosen is to bring a concubine from outside that will be colorblind as well, which is going to be somebody from the West. So it's like, it was, how she put it was like a quiet and peaceful overthrowing or something like that. And that's actually very clever. That's actually really clever. I mean, it's not flawless logic there, but for the time, it's very flawless logic. So that was very, very crafty. Anyways, I think that's it for season 2 of Apothecary Diaries. How you liking 100 Girlfriends? Did you watch today's episode?
Mm-mm.
Oh, bummer. That's all right. It was a fun episode. Have you been enjoying it so far, though?
Oh, God, yes. I absolutely love. I mean, we got the last one I seen was the new girl.
Me desu wa.
Yeah, she was great.
Me desu wa. The freaking karaoke scene, though, dude.
Oh yes, I loved it.
Freaking Shizuka, 5 minutes straight of Shizuka just being the freaking cutest thing ever. That entire episode was so freaking fantastic. I mean, put aside Mimi's introduction, which I thought it was a really solid introduction. I liked seeing that she's not a, it doesn't seem like she's rich, which I respect that.
Yeah.
She could have a rich family, but they at least imply that everything that she does is her own, which makes it even better that she was willing to buy his new
Make
Riz,
it beautiful, man. And then realize towards the end of it, you are already beautiful.
Yeah, you do not need these things because you are the beautiful thing. He is the boyfriend amongst boyfriends because he was willing to save his jacket, and he's like, I can't be mad at a man that's mad for his girl. You're a boyfriend of all boyfriends. Like, yep, that's Rentaro. You got that damn straight. It's been a lot of fun though. I with this recent episode, with obviously you can assume that it's to win over me.
Yeah.
With this recent episode, I do kind of have to admit that, because typically what I'll do with my impressions videos, because I am covering the show because it's just a fun show to cover. I'm typically like, okay, this is the funniest part, or this is a character that has a good moment in it. I'm usually talking about the more pinnacle points of it. And I found that like I am starting to, and we talked about this with the first season review. I am starting to get concerned. Is this sort of that breaking point for me? For like, okay, I kind of don't think I'm gonna be more worried going forward to adding more people because we're starting to get that point now where like Iku just got introduced and she still has very little presence. And I mean Kurumi has very little presence. Like the main girls still have a very heavy presence, but I feel like these new characters as they've been introduced with like Iku and Kurumi, even Mei, they don't really seem like they have much of a forefront like appearance. Like they're not there. They're not capturing a scene. Whereas characters like Kanane has always been the straight man, and she's kind of still the straight man, and so it lends for her to constantly be in every single situation because she has to call out the absurdities. But like even Shizuka, my gosh, Shizuka has been nailing it this season. Like she is getting all the good scenes this season. Even Nano is getting a strong presence, and Kushi's still causing chaos. Hahari is still insanely great, but these new girls, I don't feel their presence there. I really don't. I don't know if you're having that same feeling.
Well, I just I figure I hadn't noticed it yet. I think that I'm feeling more of an onslaught of new characters. If anything,
They are
it
turning them
almost
out.
feels like I haven't had a chance to breathe. Although, even though they're doing the kind of like we pointed out before, it still feels like they're doing that. They add a new character, do a romantic moment with the new character, and then
Win them over,
do a
present icebreaker.
yeah, icebreaker, bring everybody together, and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
we got
it's
another
literally
new character.
he wins them over, he introduces them to the family, and then they have to be accepted into the Rintaro family. There's Rintaro wins them over, then they're won over by the family. They join the family. The Rintaro family is really what it is. That's, I think, a better way of putting the icebreaker. Because I mean, that was like really obvious with Kurumi, and the fact that she's like, no, I don't want to rely on anybody. I'm going to do my own thing. And it was the case with me. No, I can't. It's either me or Nano. One of us has to go. I'm going to be a part of a family, but I want you to get rid of that Nano girl. She can't be in here. Yeah, I still, like I said, technically with the first season, we had 6 girls were brought in. I mean, Hahari was like right at the end, so we didn't even get a chance to really kind of even do the. I mean, we did icebreaker stuff, obviously, because it was like episode 10, I think, is when they first. Hahari got locked up, and then he had to go into the house, like episode 10 or 11, 12, and then they had this big, like, fun moment in 12 where he technically was working to get the permission from the previous boyfriend, the ghost. But yeah, that was technically 6, and so far with this season, we've introduced 4. So I guess they're technically on pace, even though they did they did themselves make jokes about the fact that they're blitzing the introductions. Who was it? Iku? When Iku first showed up, they were like, "Man, we're really moving forward with these new girls being brought into the Rintaro family, whatever." I'm like, even they're like on the nose about how like.
Well, I got a kick out of the fact that they were. He made a comment about how they were walking down. Was it to the karaoke bar? And he points out, "Oh no, we're gonna add another character."
Is it time? Nope.
She's walking the other way.
Karaoke. It's time for karaoke. We're not doing that yet. We're gonna first go see Shizuka be super freaking cute. My gosh, dude, her singing. I was so afraid of that too, because I'm like, oh, please don't make it be the like, yeah, she's got a cute soft voice, but she's terrible at singing or something like that. Like suddenly she's gonna be ring, and you're gonna hear the squeaking of the microphone as it like peaks and cracks and everything, feedback. No,
she has an adorable
super
voice.
freaking cute, and I knew it because it was technically she was sitting there singing outside of the place. So I'm like, do. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. Stop it, stop it, so cute. And then Kusudi's over there like, I got a cuteness potion in the room, like, oh no. And then it goes off and suddenly everybody just gets blasted on the wall and everything. And then yeah, like following that, the whole situation with the second chorus and everything, it was just way too cute. She's way too cute. Shizuka, I Kanane's best girl, but it's like I can't deny the power that is Shizuka, so I just always say that they're both best girls. They're both best girls. Just easy.
Shizuka's best.
I still think Rinto is easily going to be like one of my best harem protagonists ever. He's just too freaking cool. What else? Have you been able to get caught up on Danmachi?
Nope.
Oh, damn. Were you with your new schedule?
I might.
Because you said that you just haven't started this season. Because you said that you finished the last season.
No, I finished. I got to the.
You didn't have Ryu and Bell stuck at the very bottom of the dungeon together.
Yeah, you said something about an arena, and I didn't do the arena yet.
But you had the big crazy skeletal dragon thing that birthed from the walls of the dungeon.
Possibly. I
It's like we're going every time I say something and you're going maybe. It's like we're going further back because you had like the whole backstory about Ryu and how that other group betrayed him.
I've seen the Tamers.
And so they were basically trying to cause damage in the dungeon enough that the dungeon, because the skeletal thingy was like an antibody of the dungeon. So when you cause damage to the physical body of the dungeon enough, it's like the dungeon's sending something to get rid of you. And that was that crazy skeletal dragon thing that's super OP that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I don't remember a skeletal dragon.
Because that's technically how Ryu's family was killed, is that they did that same thing, and that thing summoned up and killed everybody in her whole party. And then that's when it gets into her wanting to get her revenge against them, and he summons that again, and then Belle and her fall all the way down to the bottom, and they're all trying to get down there to get to him, and they have to fight some crazy Leviathan boss. You're somewhere in the fourth. Though you're definitely somewhere in the fourth, so it's not. Well, now it's kind of asking about. Next week's the last episode of this season, so that'll be the 15th episode. So you're looking at 2 cores of work.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of interest in watching it. It's just kind of one of those half back burner things that I want to do, but
yeah, it's definitely a should, because, like I said,
because you got me
seasons,
interesting. You got me
all
very
these
interested
seasons
with the.
This season's been so freaking good. Seer and Freya and just all that stuff has been super good. And I'm excited to see how it ends. We'll find out how I'll be able to give you an update, because if they nail this last episode, it'll be up there as one of my favorites.
You were hyping up Freya a lot, so it made me go, I think I need to go and do that.
I can't hype you up any more than after you watched that ED, because you know that ED was good.
Yeah.
That Freya walking ED was just real good. I need to make a video on Orb's last episode. That was a really good episode. Soul level, you technically know the ending of soul leveling. I can't even talk about soul leveling with you. Have you been keeping up on Amagami Sisters?
No. I kind of let that one go.
About Dragon Ball Daima.
I never did start it.
That finished on the anniversary of Akira Toriyama's passing.
I did. I did see a video about Bulma getting mad and negating a bath time with Vegeta, and it was like, poor guy. I mean,
there was is Vegeta's ultimate weapon.
He just wanted to flex a little, and she's like, "Boy, you're my."
If you don't get down here, no more bath times. All right, I'm good. Like, no, I must beat this thing. I can't have Goku beat this thing.
A whole bunch of his manly points right there. That poor guy.
Everybody's looking like blushing, like, oh my gosh, did you just say that? And then it just cuts over to Goku, and Goku's like, huh? It's like, oh god, Goku. I still to this day don't know how Gohan was even born. I don't. She had to have drugged him in the middle of the night and got it somehow. I don't even think he knows how it happened. I literally do not know how there ain't no way Goku did anything to make those kids. She probably took a syringe and just took some
probably
sample.
Just stabbed it directly, pulled it out.
Just syringe it out. But no, it was a really good season of Daima. I just watched the last episode the other week, and yeah, I liked and now you can't say it's canonizing it, because technically Daima is not technically canon, but at least to see that Toriyama acknowledged Super Saiyan J4, because that's easily my favorite form of all time. Like, of all the forms, I'm not really that big on, like, I'm okay with I always forget it every time I try to think about it. The last form they got into with Super, like they got into God Super Saiyan God mode, where the blue hair, and then there was like the last form, something instinct. Every time I try to think of it, I always forget it. It's something instinct, ultimate instinct or something like that. Anyways, I kind of like that form, but the one that I've always liked, if you ask me name one form of the Dragon Ball series that you like the most, it was Super Saiyan 4.
And that was the one with the fur and everything?
It was GT. GT had it.
Right.
And so that's technically not canon. Now I don't know if they've ever confirmed that Akira Toriyama, they were like, hey, we know the form. He's like, here you go. Let me draw this for you. And they made it. Because yes, GT was supposed to not be canon to like the original line, but he still could have been involved in making those forms. But either way, just seeing that, again, Daima was wrote by him and he made the story, that if he put that in there, it's like literally like a love letter to all the fans of GT, which myself included. I love GT. I think it's actually better. It was more interesting to me than Super. So to see that pop up in there, it was like, oh, cool. He's acknowledging that form, my favorite form out of all of them, which again is like very, very, yeah, he even gets his tail back and he's got the crazy long hair and everything. I was curious if they would end up fusing it too, because I think in GT they fused them.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, because Vita didn't even make it. He didn't get a chance to, because Bulma got mad at him. Goku's over here. He's reaching that next form. Vegeta's getting all jealous. I'm like, get Vegeta in there so he can get up there too. Nope. Bulma's got to yell at him. Freaking Bulma. You messed it up, Bulma. He could have done it too. It was good. It was a lot of fun. I did enjoy Daima, so.
I need to just take some time and watch the rest of Super and all that stuff. Because I never did. I only started GT. I never actually finished it. Yeah, there's a lot of that show that I'm absolutely dying to watch. A lot of the movies that I want to watch, because I love that franchise. I really do. It's always going to have a soft spot in my heart.
Yeah, like I said before, there's a lot of GT that
I keep getting stuck in the Snake Road arc.
Snake Way. There's a couple of rough parts in GT, honestly, but I think the thing that I liked most about GT was it sort of getting into this idea of repercussions for all the wishing they do. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of a cool little kind of twist to it, versus again Super, where it's just really kind of Super is just like a bunch of what ifs. It's really what it is. Here's a bunch of different universes that have like, what if Frieza was actually a good guy? Oh, in this universe over here, the Saiyans didn't get wiped out. What about that world? It's a bunch of what ifs, and then bring them all together to make them fight each other. I wasn't a big fan of that whole segment. I did like Beerus. I liked that whole segment there. I hate them bringing back Frieza for the 50th damn time. Frieza die. It's all right though. The only one that I haven't watched yet is the movie. The one with like I don't know, they look like some weird super like Sentai group of dudes they have to fight. Eventually I watch it though. Anything else that we want to talk about? Have you been keeping up on Flower and Asura? Did you get it?
No.
You got caught up. Did you get caught up on it at least?
I got caught up on it for the podcast.
Oh, okay. So you're about a few episodes behind at this point then?
Yeah.
You keep Medalist?
Mm-mm.
Which one? Not caught up, or haven't watched it yet? Not caught up.
Not caught up.
Not caught up. Not at all. Any of it. Didn't watch any of it.
I haven't watched it since the podcast, or since the.
I don't know what that was. I know what that was. It's super good though. I'm really loving it. I think the thing that I love here recently experienced with Medalist is having that aspect where it's like, even if the main character doesn't win every match, I'm starting to get that feeling like it's kind of rare for me, honestly, with competitions types of shows. One of those rare cases where even if like who I want to win doesn't win, I mean, Inori's not always going to be in the competition, so there's going to be times where you'll see like these two characters competing, whatever. Even when there's a case where this character I want to win in the competition because I favor them more, in the end I'm happy because it's sort of shown me how somebody else at least has overcome something. And they did that with this recent episode where it's like, Oh, go girl. Oh, wait, that's right. I'm not supposed to be cheering for. It's like one of those moments where you're on the sideline going, yeah, girl, you nailed that so much. That was so freaking beautiful. She got that smile on her face. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to be cheering for her. I'm supposed to be cheering for you, baby. I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry, girl. I'm not supposed to cheer for her. It's doing that kind of stuff, which I really do like.
That's a sign of a good sports show.
Yeah, it's got. There's only one character in it so far that I don't like, and that's that Rio dude that you've already met. He's just I know he's gonna be all right. It seems like he just has. I don't know. It should go in a direction that he's, I don't know, being abused by somebody, or he's probably abandoned. I'm assuming maybe Hikaru, her coach, may be his father or something like that, and that's why he hates him so much, or he abandoned him or something like that. There's got to be an abandonment or an abuse happening because he hates him that much. But so far, every one of the characters, I've absolutely loved them. So I'm loving it. I hope it gets another season announcement really quickly. That's gonna break my heart if it doesn't. What else? Any other shows? Red Ranger? You've been keeping up on that one? I freaking love it.
Yes.
So much. We had a docking situation.
We went to the desert place. We met another
the bongo
ranger.
the tribe dude that was playing bongos on her butt. Yeah. I only watched part of that episode, but yeah, I kind of seen that they ran into what seems like another possible like Power Rangers kind of thing or system there. They have like the same powers.
And then
right after she's figuring out his powers.
Yeah, they found out about a possible connection through a prophecy that he would be coming. And so it seems interesting that they're trying to open up the possibility of others. And yes, they are really digging hard into the idea that Homegirl is actually digging into his powers. Wonder what is going to happen.
Digging into those powers. I just got a massive kick out of that because like we had one episode where
she's gonna dock for real. She's still gonna dock for real.
They had one episode where they literally implied the idea that they docked, and then tell Tina is like, wait, did two of you bang? And they're like, what are you talking about? We didn't do nothing like that. And then literally the next episode after that, he puts a ring on it.
Yep.
She twirls around, cuts her hand, and he just immediately puts the bandit on, and she's like, that finger? And it's like, they just keep going. They just keep going with it. I can't get enough of that show. I am unfortunately like a little bit behind, but I can't get enough of it. The two of them are just so great. They're just too freaking great. I think that's everything. Is there any other shows that you had stuff that you wanted to dig into?
Not off the top of my head. I mean,
are you keeping up on Magic Maker? I haven't watched that in a long time. Is that getting better?
I really do love how it's working. And yes, it's. Did
he get his glove yet?
Huh?
Did he get his glove yet?
Yes, he did.
Did it turn out like we were thinking, where he's just going to put like different materials in it and make them so they can create
pretty
different
much
effects? Like a lightning finger.
Right now, he's dealing with something kind of. Oh well, I guess we're. Do you want to be spoiled?
Yeah, go in it. It's fine.
His sister has a
Edis?
what they're calling she has a effectively what they're calling lethargic sickness, which basically she's a freaking zombie laying on the bed and can't move. She's in a coma.
What?
Blank stare. And he's figuring out that it's effectively magic being taken out of these people. And so he's trying to...
So they're doing a Drine syndrome situation over there? Well, that would be the opposite effect there, but... Something is drawing it out of him. That's probably why they're not able to utilize magic, is because they just never had it. And he's producing it whenever he's getting lovey-dovey with his sister.
He's going into the idea that some people are born with it, or everybody's born with it, and some kind of effectively build a foundation around it in their body. And so he's kind of implying that some people could actually become magic users. Yes, I think what the side effect is going to be of that. But the people who are building those foundations in their bodies are the ones who are getting it drawn out via this wraith or whatever that's going on right now. So he's got to go battle the wraith that nobody can see.
So in effect, he built that foundation for his sister before she was drained of it?
Yep.
So he caused it?
Effectively.
That's kind of screwed up. But I mean, that does kind of go to the interesting aspect of the world they've kind of set up with this, is that it's a world where, yes, immediately he wanted to have magic, but there is something apparently that was there that was that the whole effect at night that they were observing, where it was sucking out of the pond? The wraith pulling it out of them?
He's kind of, as he's dug into the magic a little bit more, he's kind of implied that magic is in everything. And what's happening is he's tapping into it through his emotions.
Yeah.
And so
that was the whole Wincest.
Yeah.
Emotions and Wincest.
They've already broke that, by the way.
No, don't break it. He's gotta marry her.
They love each other. He's already kind of confirmed they're not siblings.
It doesn't matter anymore. Well, that sucks.
Yeah. All the Wincest folks is gonna jump out.
It's not real.
He's effective.
Quote Yuki. It doesn't matter unless they're actually blood related.
They've kind of implied that he's either been given to them by the goddess or he's an orphan. One of the two. He was literally handed to them, I'm guessing. I don't know.
So yeah, the parents were literally like, they went off to go to the doctor and they came back and the baby just popped in their hands. Because didn't they imply that they were leaving to go? I guess they didn't say what happened there. It was literally Murray's perspective and the idea of they were bringing home their child.
Yeah.
Like the assumption there was that they went off to the doctor helped her. But typically with a noble family like that, they would come to her. So that technically makes sense.
They keep going on and on. They've done it at least 3 or 4 times where he's kind of walked in on people discussing who he really is. So
I suddenly have lost a lot of my desire to keep watching the show.
Like I said, I like it. I think it's kind of an interesting, a twist on the magic, thing.
That was the initial draw. There was like, that was our fears when we were talking about in the first impression. Was like, it's super cool how in depth it is getting in this. It's not like episode 2. He suddenly unlocks it and now he's got OP powers and now he's making everybody super excited about his magic use. No, it's like literally he has to build the foundation and build it from scratch. But the concern there was like, will there be enough built and utilized before the season ends? But I don't know.
I don't think they're going for that at all. I really don't. They just, the Wraith has probably been the most. They went out and hunted.
Did he get a fairy yet?
Huh?
Did he get a fairy yet?
No, he hasn't gotten a fairy.
Damn, I'm surprised.
I think he did release a fairy, unless that was in another show.
I don't know, they're all blurring. There was one where they released a fairy somewhere. No, that's Beheneko, Chris. But no, yeah, he was talking about how like the father, he wanted to look into them because he thought that could be like a catalyst, basically. Like a lot of stories, fairies are bestower of magic or a catalyst for magic use. So he wanted one, but he's like, no, don't ever ask about that shop ever again, because apparently people buy and sell them, and Dad didn't like it or something like that.
Yeah, but they went out into on an adventure. They went to the Adventure Guild. They did all that stuff. They went out on an adventure. They actually fought some goblins, or a elite goblin.
So Edis got to go out goblin slaying?
No.
She was sick then?
Yes.
God, I hate this show more and more the more you talk about it.
However, we got a saber face. No, not really a saber face, but we did get a saber.
Rafina, she looks like a saber face in this picture. I haven't seen her before. I doubt it's Rose, the childhood friend, villager commoner girl. Did they end up
didn't go with them that time. It was a new girl.
Yeah, it's probably Rafina.
And then the geeky girl that gets all weirded out about
the Roxy looking wannabe that
probably
Bridget. Bridget with one eye covered.
Yeah, she's kind of fun.
I know how, based on like on the picture that I have here that has no context to it, I know who exactly you're talking about. There's one character that has blonde hair and blue eyes. It looks energetic. She's probably the Saber. And the one that has only one eye barely showing with the hairband and the short blue hair, she's obviously going to be the awkward one.
Yep.
Look, they have to have their hair that way.
She's an expert on monsters, and she's getting super excited about this wraith that nobody has ever seen.
Interesting. Has there been a time jump yet?
Kind of.
Like
going into that,
because I know in the OP that shows like one more step past what I've watched, and then it shows him like, I don't know, like somewhere in like his 15, like around 15.
No, I don't think
so. It looked like he was going to jump to probably 10, and then he was going to go to 15.
I think we're still in like the 12, 13 area. We're not looking like adults.
We're not
yet.
old farts yet at age 15. Don't want to be 15 yet. That's too old. Chill out, Andrew. We gotta stick in that 13 area. We don't want people to lose interest in the show by making them too old. But yeah, it showed quite a bit of a jump in the OP, so I figured they would maybe get there by 10 or 12 or something. I don't know. The episode count. Yeah, I still plan on going back to it. I just kind of took a little bit of a break while I'm getting caught up with everything else. But
yeah, I'm probably gonna have to set everything to the side if I'm going to do
Medalist and Danmachi.
Danmachi in particular. That one's gonna take a bit of my time.
Well, you have what? 3 more weeks until the season's gonna start concluding.
Oh God,
that scares me because that means like at least around 2 weeks from now we'll be doing our first impression or our previews for the next season. So that means I gotta break down the list this week. To have that prepare for next week, and then we should record that 2 weeks from now. And then, yeah, 2 weeks from that, we'll be going into reviews. It's already coming. So the spring season's already coming, Chris. And spring is looking crazy already. I mean, we have, to name one, that new Gundam is going to be out that time, so that's exciting stuff there. But, yeah, spring's... How many shows they have in spring so far already? No, let's do this. This. I like how Annie chart already goes to it already. 3, 6, 9, 12. That's right. Lazarus is in that season too, huh? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 7, 58. Yeah, we're already about 58. And it's not even started yet. That's right. We have Ohara-san's coming back. We got Ohara-san coming back for the second season. Oh my gosh. I got Tabat's not looking good already. I don't know if I told you about that. IGN got like this really early look at... They posted an early look at sneak peek of Tabat. And the first episode, it's like the first minute of the first episode, which is literally airing in not even a month. And there's missing in-betweens. It's the first minute of the first episode that's going to be airing in a month. And it's not done yet. It's like, how are you... Who thought it was a good idea to release that without the in-betweens right there? Like, you can still see the reference sketch on the bottom right hand.
Huh.
This is where it's doing this, and the actual frame is paused because they don't have the in-betweens. You're airing in a month. Why do we have to... I'm not gonna jump to conclusions. It could just been, hey, let's just give him this, and it was done a long time ago. I don't buy it though. That's not looking good. I feel bad for all the beginning for the beginning at the end fans out there of Tabat. Anyways, that'll be interesting. But anyhow, I think that's good. Did we get all of our system? We got our spoilers out of our system. We gotta release it every now and then, even though literally half of it was ReZero.
Yeah, right.
ReZero literally is like most of our spoiler discussion that we want to talk about. Granted, there's a couple of shows that I want to talk about,
Unless
but
you want me to
unfortunately,
tell
Chris
you
isn't caught
about
up.
Eric Adventurers.
I am at the point where I've seen a little bit into the episode where the evil evil guys kidnap all of his waifus. And they're trying to, I don't know what they were trying to force him to do, but probably something bad. I just roll my eyes out. Just why? But at least it looks like the one girl that kept kind of showing off the side going, oh no, timid. She turned out to be good. I assumed she was going to help them out.
She did.
She helped save the party.
And then he had to go back and
Did she join the party at least?
Go and say, yeah, what? I don't know. He went in to save her.
She got in trouble after that?
No. You don't understand. You don't know. I forgot. That happened in the next episode, apparently. The entire thing collapsed. And he had to escape. She saved him.
Right. I seen that part, but I wasn't sure if she joined them after that.
Well, the implication is that she died in the dungeon.
She died?
That's the implication.
Well, you can't have her join the harem.
Come to find out that she survived, and she did one last stream, and the other guy, the bad guy, or his best friend, whatever,
best friend,
took on some kind of weird drug or something like that, turned him into some kind of weird shadow stalker, I guess, and he can't die. So he went down there to save her. He was the reason why she pretty much survived, because he was basically kept her alive, I guess. Whatever.
Sure. OP main character? Or the bad guy did?
The bad guy did.
Oh, okay.
And so he couldn't kill him because he was invincible.
Because he had to kill her in order to kill him.
No, he had to kill
Or if he kills the bad guy, he'll kill her.
No. He's literally invincible because of whatever the hell drug he took. And so he shot him with this was what was kind of messed up. He shot him with some kind of thing that would make him like constant, that prismatic thing made it, did some kind of super damage. And so he was like bubbling up and he was in constant pain. This is your childhood friend. You're like doing all kinds of damage to him for forever. Literally, you pointing out the fact that he's going to be in pain for the rest of eternity.
But he was a bad guy, though.
Because he was a bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he had the derpy faces all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like forever. He's going to be tortured forever.
But where's he at?
In the dungeon.
He made him bloated up in the bottom of the dungeon for all eternity.
Yeah.
But where's the girl?
He saved the girl because he had superpowers. Because he's the OP.
And so she lives forever too?
No, she's healed.
I thought they were connected somehow, and so they're just like eternal too.
No.
But did she join the harem though? Is she in the house?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
He took her out of the dungeon, and she said, "I'm sorry."
She's not in the OP with him, so I doubt she will.
She says, "Well, no.
Joined,
the next episode is named 6-Leaf Clover." Which, if you add in, there's 4 characters, and then we added the cat girl.
Yeah, Linnea.
And now we're adding her. That would be 6 leaves.
Wait, you have him, Roxy, Sylphie, Edis, Linnea. Yeah, and then that would be
she would be the 6th
crazy guy's betrayed girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll see. She's kind of cute.
She is.
That'd be cool. They totally like sidewind it and just like randomly grab somebody else. It'd be like the 6-Leaf Clover, and it opens up with her, and she's like walking down the street to the like grocery, get some food or something like that.
Picks a 6-Leaf
and then
Clover
suddenly it cuts over to him, and he's in the dungeon with the rest of the girls, and suddenly some new person appears. It's like psych. This girl's joining the party. Psych. That'd be messed up. That'd be messed up for all the 2 fans of that random girl that used to be the part of the bad party. I mean, there's a personal connection there, honestly, because the both of them were a part. Because I think she was in the party when she was I think she was in the party when he was a part of it. So they have a personal connection having to deal with the dirtbag hero guy that was so full of himself. I did get a kick out of the fact that like he comes back after causing that whole issue on live stream and everything. And then like he goes back to the guild, and the guild master dude's just sort of like, Slug, the hell did you do on that live stream? You're gonna break our he's just a dirty, what they call dark elves or whatever, and he's like, the hell are you talking about? You're gonna ruin our entire relationship with an entire race, you idiot. Starts slugging him. Guildmaster dude's pretty cool. Anyways, that concludes this episode of the spoiler cast and the anime cast. We hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you did, make sure to hit the like button down below and give us a rating on whatever podcast choice that you're currently watching us or listening to us on. We greatly appreciate your guys' support. Again, at otakuspirit.com, that's where all of our links are for social media, ways to support us. We greatly, greatly appreciate that. Sports channel means a great deal to us. But until next time, take care.
Os.